Now, I often say to myself, how many times are you going to win a world heavyweight champion, but suddenly that day you're going to lose your belts? Well, a lot of fighters in their time, even in heavyweight boxing, win the belt, but suddenly any time later, you don't know if they're going to defend it or not. And at the same time, for Tyson Fury, after 6 years since he won his first title, it's at this point, would you think that he should have deserved a title to defend it? Tyson Fury has been in the marks for over a decade since his boxing career started. And the thing is, guys, there's been a lot of problems with depression, stress, mental health and such. And I'm surprised he got through it with everything he is. Is there much you can say about this? Well, let's find out. Hello everyone, my name is Jason and this is Triple E. This video and all other channels of the videos are going to talk about boxing, MMA, even AAA boxing, I don't know, I just came up with that name, or even kickboxing, wrestling, who knows, you name it. And technically there's going to be a lot of interesting things for reviews, but other things in the future, but I just like to start off short and sweet because there's other videos that are pretty hard to make. Hope you viewers enjoy the video, and technically, like I said, guys, I'm not going to talk about any of the other information it is, or any other fights. We're going to talk about the 2 fights that Tyson Fury fought. So, let's begin. The year begins in November 28th, 2015, after a couple months of delayed of this fight, with Vladimir Klitschko already breaking 12 years in 2 title reigns, holding the world's record. Not the record for the longest title reigns, even though he held it for 9 years in his second reigns. His first reign already multiplied that, and he got a world record in 2015. But technically, he would not hold those belts for long. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, would face up to him with his next opponent. And to be honest, with Tyson Fury, he's been suffering through a lot of depression during this time, even though if he didn't know what it was. But the only thing he cared about was winning the world title, and that was his only goal. And after a few rounds of fighting, it was pretty tough to say who was actually going to win, because technically with Tyson actually tricking out Vladimir and telling Vladimir to come near him, which is also a Muhammad Ali move, which people tell him and to come near him, and technically that move actually works out. And not a lot of heavyweight boxers do that. After 9 rounds without not landing a right hand on Tyson, Vladimir finally goes for a right hand punch with all that boringness that came to the crowd. But that offer would pay him in the 9th round with Tyson's trademark left hand punch in that same round. Of course, he would try to fight off the last few rounds, and in round 11, Fury would be deducted a point for a shot behind the head, finishing the last round strong. With the scorecards of 2 of them scoring at 115 to 112, 116 to 111, all favored, Tyson Fury becomes lineal weight champion. Even though he was WBA, IBF, IBO, WBO, and all those other champions, he won them all except the WBC. And after January 2016, Deontay Wilder would go for an amazing KO of the year in Premier Boxing Champions on Arthur Spilka. Even though that was a really sloppy fight due to how crazy it was, Tyson saw some fresh meat. And it was a good trademark, an amazing story in this. Even though if this was actually WWE, this would be pretty dang good. But after months later in June, they were going to schedule a second Vladimir fight, which that never happened. For the next 2 years, he will be out of competition forever. But in 2018, after a couple wins in his career, with a split decision draw, which should have been his champion, which we will get to that in the future, he would also win a couple more fights against undefeated fighters after having talked with Deontay Wilder in their big fight for the second one. And in honesty, guys, I like to say, I know people in the comments are saying, oh, come on, like he cheated, oh, Deontay did this, that, oh, he's making excuses. I like to point this out, there's a lot of information, and like I said, I am not going to go through all of that. But anyway, in round 3, with one of the sloppiest takedowns, in round 3, one of the sloppiest knockdowns by Deontay Wilder would come in the 3rd round. 2 rounds later, with a great body shot and with a knockout, but 2 rounds later, Mark Bruin would stop the fight, saving Deontay Wilder. And he would get fired days later. And I know there's a lot of information, but at the time, Tyson was announcing that they were going to make a rematch, but they never did, which held for Deontay to actually make accusations about the fight. I will say, though, due to Tyson Fury, I do actually believe that he might have cheated. But during the 2019 schedule, there is one piece of video I like to show you guys that might be a little bit conspicuous here. Let me show you a video.
What else do you want to accomplish?
Do you know what? I just take it fight by fight, day by day, because the only thing that I really concern about is just to be happy. I don't box for titles or belts or for money or for fame or glory. That's all finished. That's all been accomplished. I've won every single belt there is to win in boxing. And I've done everything that I ever dreamed of and more. I only box for happiness because it brings me happiness.
Even though there was also a part 1 into this that was recorded months ago. And technically, if Tyson actually said that he doesn't box for money, titles, or fame no more because he accomplished it all, then why would he tamper the gloves? That doesn't make no sense. And even though that doesn't make no sense, why in the first fight, if his glove was like this, because the glove was way over here, now they had to take the padding out in the second fight. Yeah, there's a lot of things that just doesn't make sense. Technically, guys, the reason that this fight's a no contest is because it's almost like if they actually made a no contest out of this fight, technically people are going to get booed. Deontay is going to go away as a happy man, and everyone's going to be upset of how this fight used to be so good. It was going to be gone, and it's going to have all boxing fans walk away from it. It's almost like WCW. It's like one day it was a Montreal screw job, and then suddenly in Starrcade 97, that was a screw job for all the dumb reasons that made no sense. People did not want to do that, so technically that's the reason why Tyson won the belt, because even though this was an American, Deontay was American, everyone still believed that Tyson was better than Deontay, to be honest. Still, it doesn't matter. Even though at the time they were going to sort up a fight with AJ versus Tyson, British versus British. And of course, in December, he was going to take on Ajit Kabaya, another German fighter. But due to the accusations, we don't know if he is going to defend a title. He did say that he might retire soon, but is he ever going to defend a title? Because if he doesn't fight sooner or later, these belts might be stripped off to him again. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm Jason Willett, and this is Triple E.